I did the same mistake as before. Like, I hate recording on my phone. Well, I mean, I think it's the same if you record from somewhere else. It's like whenever you leave the screen, it it turns off the video. So I was recording this long thing and then I accidentally clicked out of it and it got rid of everything. But anyway, basically what I was saying before was I've been really lazy today. I haven't done really much of anything. And right now, and the reason why I went out of the screen was to see what time it is, but let's see. I'm gonna say it's like maybe 10 p.m., but I actually don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's only 7:30. Okay, so it's 7:30, and I'm like, okay, well, I have a few more hours in the day. Maybe I could just clean and kind of prepare for when my guest comes over, because she's not like the type of person where it's like, oh, she's been my friend for 10 plus years, I don't care what she thinks about my apartment. Like, I should probably at least make it a little bit more presentable for her. Also because she's gonna help me access scholarships and go through stuff, and just do some prep work for that and whatnot. And I'm you know I part of me doesn't want to do it because like she was kind of a flake the last appointment we had. But I do have to give her the benefit of a doubt. Like, I will just consider it strike one, you know. And also because like Keely was able to talk to, like, like I was able to talk to other people of her team and express, like, hey, I didn't appreciate her lack of preparation when she came over here, and they were like, okay, well, like it was assessed, like it wasn't ignored. Like my issues weren't ignored. They respected it, and now I have to allow them the space to correct their mistakes, because if I just kind of continually be like, well, no, that one time you didn't like, like that's gonna be like, that's a little overly harsh, especially because the issue was already like, you have to allow for some time for the issue to be solved, like so that's what we're gonna find out tomorrow, whether or not she did her job or not. I feel like I set the bar pretty damn low, so I just had 2 tasks, and as you could tell, that I do my human tasks, and they're quite extensive. So me asking 2 tasks of another person feels relatively low, like under demanding, basically. And I also have decided to reach out to the school because they do have like kind of similar services available, but it's kind of in a different light. It's kind of in a different it's not exactly the same, but hey, like, I think the more people who could view my resume, and the more people who are aware that I'm looking for a job, probably the better, so like I don't see any downsides of more people looking at my stuff, even if they're not necessarily making the proper tweaks and adjustments and giving their expertise or whatever. Like, if they're not able to do that, then, well, that kind of sucks, but at the very least they could look at it, but yeah, just I don't know, I guess I should just prepare for guests in general, like, somebody's coming over to the house, I should probably clean. But yeah, there was some other stuff I was going on about, like, because I'm trying to recap from the last video that I was trying to make, and I don't remember, like, because I was just ranting, I was more in my emotional mind the first time I was trying to record this video, and then I accidentally went out to check what time it was. And now, like, my brain is different now. It's a little bit more logical or something. But yeah, just pretty much I've been tired most of today, and And there's like a couple of I wrote in my blog about this too. Like, I think the lethargy is from like multiple there's like multiple reasons for me being this lethargic. One, I do think it's just like the season, like I think everybody's really tired and kind of wanting to like either you're wanting to eat a lot or you're wanting to sleep a lot or just like you don't want to move. Like I think and I don't like a lot of people are going to say, well, that's kind of depression. I do agree, like those are depression, but I think it's like seasonal affective disorder. I don't think it's actual like depression. I mean, we can put that on like I mean, in this day and age, in this era, who isn't depressed? Like, there's plenty of reasons to be depressed or whatever, but I'm just trying to think of it like not logically, but like okay, like just assessing the situation, I guess. It's like, nah, I'm pretty sure I'm like lethargic because one, seasonal affective disorder. That's probably the main one. But also too, because like personal things, because I'm having to like I have a lot of personal issues that I'm having to deal with by myself, which when I was doing like my automatic writing and stuff like that, like a moment of consciousness from my ego, like and I think this is important. Like, I mean, the way I went about it is kind of weird, like how I'm explaining it to you, but I think like everybody needs to like be able to do this with themselves in some sort of way. And what I'm trying to get at is that I told myself I accept the consequences of my actions. So like, like making the choice that I did, I accept the consequences of the like, you know, um like I have to live with like accepting that I have to live with the consequences of my actions. And I mean like that's kind of like a duh thing. Like, I mean, like whether you agree to, like whether you consciously agree to that or not, like depending on how conscious you are of your actions and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a universal rule. You just kind of have to, that's just like, like the laws of physics, for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. Like, just it is what it is. But I do think like at least once in a while. Maybe not for everything, because, not like, if you want like an apple or a mango, I don't think you need to overthink that, even though we could even go into the like, well, it's the butterfly effect. What if when you picked a mango that caused like a, like, like maybe there's like higher consequences for stuff that we don't realize, but let's just assume that you're well aware that a certain action is going to have a high cost or a consequence that will affect you greatly. Well, yeah, you should probably think about that one at least, like out of all the things, probably that one's probably worth pondering over, And so like I was high and I was like, channeling. I notice now that I'm older, I don't get caught up in the whims of like ether. Like I'm able to keep like one foot on the ground, and I think it's because like I'm not seeking oblivion like people in the past. I very much was, because I was really caught up in my emotions. Now that I'm older, I of course I feel things. Of course I feel very much. But I also know, like I said, the consequences of going off full throttle. Like, if you go fully, I'm not going to say mental, because I don't think it's mental, I think it's emotional. But if you're overly emotional on certain things, there are consequences for that, not just for yourself, but the people around you. Um, and anyway, yeah, so I just like, even though I was like in the midst of channeling and like, seeing all like, letting my brain do like the pattern recognitioning and going through like multiple different like scenarios in which, what would happen, and kind of going through all the different timelines and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, like then my like Kayla was like, well, okay, well, we have to accept the consequences of this actions, but also like, this is kind of like I wouldn't say a warning, but I guess I was on autopilot for a good while, and then it was like, okay, Kayla, you have to come out of autopilot now. Like, like that, that's like basically that was it. Like, you're on autopilot. You've been on autopilot. Now you have to come out of it and just handle business. Like, you know, and I had to kind of like, I have to like self mother myself, and like I always say in like my human tasks. I know that's like very robotic and not motherly whatsoever, but this is like my version of it. Like basically I'd say like my human tasks are like to take care of myself, to take care of my body, to take care of Kayla or whatever. Whereas like my consciousness can do like many things, and I can mull over many different topics or projects or stuff like that. But I do have like a requirement that, well, Kayla needs at least this much care. That's what the to-do list is for. She needs this much care, and she needs and if something goes wrong with that, then you're not doing very good. Like um and so, like, I mean, I kind of over babied myself today buying the Little Caesars pizza and Pepsi. I didn't really need to do that. I mean, yeah, I had like slots on my to-do list available to make a purchase like that, but I didn't necessarily need it though. So that was kind of I didn't need to do, like, I have food in the fridge. I have food, and I already, like, after that guy left, I like got really hungry and just started eating a lot of food. So the hibernation thing, it like already went into full gear, and I kind of like gorged on some food. So that's why I'm saying I didn't really need the pizza, because I'm not even necessarily hungry. Like, I kind of bought it uh to feel good, and also just to have something ready, like, cuz I don't want to cook. Um I have food to cook, but I don't want to cook, so I bought pizza. I don't I think that was like a fair, now looking at it, I think that was a fair thing to do, because like now that I'm like, okay, well, Kaylin, you need to clean now. Like, I guess like that's like, okay, so I went to like these big grand consequences, but now I'm kind of coming back to like, everyday things. It's like, okay, well, if you buy takeaway, if you buy pre-made food, then there's no reason that this apartment should not be clean. Like, so I'm like, well, damn. Yep, you're right. Like, I lost the argument to myself. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I gotta clean. Um, but I did take like a really long like break and just let myself rest. And I love my bed. I love laying down in bed. Sometimes I don't like laying down in bed. Sometimes it's like I just go there because there's nowhere else for me to go, and it's just like a escape from the world or something. But there's sometimes where I'm just like, it's the most cozy, like, just rolling around in the bed. It's cozy. It's cozy. I have my robe on. It's not really like super cold out here, though I can turn on the heater, but then you get dried out and I get flaky and shit. But like laying in bed is just overall it's enjoyable. Not all the time, but overall it's very nice to just like lay in bed. Like, this really has nothing to do with it, but like just to give you like an image or like an idea. Okay, there's a musical called Camelot. Um and in the beginning, when Guinevere when Guinevere is going to she's being transported in like a caravan to Camelot, and they're going through like this snowy forest, and they are carrying her in, like, these men are carrying a bed, and she's just like laying down in this like lovely like fur coat, and she has like a blanket and a bed, like a queen size bed, and she has like her like weird little hound dogs, like, let me do it for you, those kind of like, I don't know, like the ones with the long noses. and she's just like laying down and looking at a beautiful like forest scape at in the winter. And I'm like, oh my god, I would love that. Like, oh my god, like the peak decadence of that whole scene. Like, imagine being carried in a snowy forest. You're in bed, and all these men are carrying you in in the forest in the winter, but it's snowy, and you're cozy in your blanket. Like, oh my god, like I don't know, like that's like kind of that's peak. I feel like, like, like that's my version of like I don't know, like if I got the money to do that, then I definitely have succeeded in life. You know, like kind of like I normally don't ask for anything like too outrageous or anything, but like in my wildest dreams, yeah, I totally go to that extent and be just like, yeah, I want a bunch of men carrying me in a bed in the forest at during winter with my dogs in the bed with me. Like if you haven't seen that, I really recommend you to look up uh that like Camelot. Oh, what would it be? Like Camelot Guinevere first meeting or going to Camelot. I don't know. Something like that will pop up and you will know but based off of the winterscape. Like once you find a video with a lady in a bed in the middle of a forest, then you found it. But anyway, but yeah, I probably need to start cleaning now. Like I kind of have some indigestion from like the soda and stuff. Oh my god, the soda tasted so good. Like how do I put this? I know that the pizza and the Pepsi is not like healthy for me, but it kind of hit the spot. Like the Pepsi was so nice and crisp and refreshing, and I did drink it, and I was like, you know, it wasn't good for my stomach whatsoever, but like just like the crispness of it like was so satisfying. The pizza was kind of like whatever. It's like Little Caesars, so it's like it's not the best, but it's kind of like I think everybody has like you know, kind of like the trash food that's like their guilty pleasure or whatever. Like you know, some people go like I wouldn't be caught dead at McDonald's. Like I would never go to McDonald's for anything. Um, I'm not into McDonald's. But like Little Caesars, like it's kind of trash pizza, but I still go there because like I don't know, it's like also like the same thing. Like some people like Taco Bell, like that's like shitty Mexican food. Like that's not even Mexican food. That's like shit. And like no matter what I eat there, like even drinking the drinks, it gives me like diarrhea. So like there's nothing good there really to me. But I know some people look at it fondly, like especially people who are like celiacs or something like you know like for some people like that's their trash food that they love. Um, not so for me. I think like Little Caesars is definitely the one that I'm like it's trash food, but I'll still buy it because I like it. It's nostalgic. Like it makes me think of my grandpa. In the same way that like Wendy's will make me think of my grandma. But there's not that much of a like I'm not so into like Wendy's for that reason. Um but anyway, like for example, before I got my MRI, I was like totally freaking out. So I bought Little Caesars pizza and like I was just crying the whole night and I drank my whole 2-liter Pepsi. And I finished the whole pizza and I was crying and just trying to like, you know, it's better to know cuz like MRI is not like a procedure. It's just a test, it's just a screening of some like, you know, they're scanning your brain and seeing if there's anything wrong. So it's not like it's not being told that you have a problem. It's to see if you have a problem. So, and I was like kind of flipping out over that because I was like, well, what if I do have a problem? Because I was getting I, um I was getting thunderclap headaches, and if nobody knows what those are, they're horrible. Basically, it's not like a tension headache where you feel it in the muscles and like like even like a migraine feels like it's like almost like a helmet, right? Like if you get like a full head migraine, like, or even an ice pick where it feels like something's jammed in your eye and like that. It's not like any of those. Unfortunately, thunderclap headaches are crazy. They attack your like your veins, like so the blood supply to your brain and everything like that. I felt like my head was on fire, like it was being like it was like molten lava within my brain. I thought I was gonna die. And it happened several times and like so it really scared me. So like I was really scared. So basically that's it. It wasn't like anybody told me I was gonna die, but I was worried that I was gonna die. So or I was worried that I was like something horrible was gonna be revealed. But luckily, oh, and I guess like to explain like when you have thunderclap headaches, there's like two reasons or two kind of diagnosis with that. So one is that it's a primary, and it kind of sucks, but basically it means it was just a fluke thing. Your body was stressed out for some sort of reason, but you don't have any underlying condition. That means that you like it was just like some sort of form of bad luck. Like you just got bad luck, and it should kind of ease out of your system eventually, hopefully. Now, secondary headaches are usually when it's like you got that headache because there is like you have a condition, like something's wrong with the blood vessels in your brain, there's something wrong, like there's something not right with you, and that's and the headaches are a symptom of that, you know. So I was worried. I was very, very worried that like I had secondary headaches and like because especially I had them like a couple of times and it was scary. Um, and then like when I got the diagnosis of primary, I was like, oh, thank God. Like I mean, it's still scary because like it means like it just kind of randomly happened. There was no real reason. Um, well, it comes from like overexerting yourself, but like think about it, like um imagine being like a weightlifter and suddenly getting one of those headaches or something like that. Like, like just knowing that your body could just like kind of like fuck with you like that. Like you could be doing all the right things and it just like is like no. Like um I mean it sucks, but like, I haven't got it since. I think what happened was I got them while I was living with my mom. I think my body and my mind was actually under more stress than I think, and I think that's why I got those thunderclap headaches while I was living at her house, was because I was actually under so much stress that it was physically making me unwell. So, um I mean, I can't blame her for all my like, me eating a whole pizza and downing a 2-liter Pepsi. Well, that ain't healthy. But but like but it is crazy to think that my body was just that stressed out living with my mom. That had to have been the reason, because what else was going on during that time? I was stressed about moving. I was trying to figure out where I was going to live. I was trying to find an apartment. um I was battling depression, and my mom was like giving me like heart palpitations and stuff like that. And so then then I found out that I had thunderclap head. Like, it's like you're already having a horrible time, but then your body's like, well, here's another thing, like here's another thing to worry about. Now you might die. You know, so yeah, it was horrible. And my person at the time, that's what I've kind of like yeah, I can't say that he was my boyfriend or anything like that. And even now, like, I stopped talking to him, but it really did help to have him during that. Like, he's such a weird, I'm just gonna be honest, like, he's a very weird guy. I'm a very weird person too, like, but I have recognized that sometimes certain people have come into my life really to help me out, but it's almost like that was their only purpose. And it's not in a like I'm using them sort of way. It's more in a It's not like, well, you're only good for this and I don't want you. Like, it's not an ego thing. It's like, it's really kind of like, you feel like, I want to say like soul contract or something like that. But, like, I do really feel like, you know, if I didn't have him during that time, it would have been so much harder. It would have been really hard. And then he got health issues too. But then he ran away from me. He didn't tell me. And then he came back after several months, and then he told me about it, and I really cried about it and stuff like that. And I don't think it was healthy that he did that, but also, like, I have to consider, well, it was what he felt comfortable doing, I guess. It's almost like a cat going away and dying on its own. But yeah, it was a lot. Like, yeah, and like, I mean, it sucks. And I think that's the thing too, is because like, we were there for each other in that way, but I don't think it was meant to do, like, we weren't, like, I don't think there was supposed to be anything else other than that. And I've had a couple of people like that, like, where I just, ended up being like a confidant for certain people going through like hard times. Like, I had this one friend who he used to be a firefighter and then he had to quit, and he kind of became a hikikomori, or a NEET, or what, like, he kind of withdrew from society because, I don't know, I guess being a firefighter really freaked him out or something. I didn't really ask about too deeply of like what kind of, like, cuz you could just guess, like, um but anyway, he would have like panic attacks in like the middle of the night, and he would call me and stuff like that. I didn't see him as anything romantic. He was my friend, but it was like, it's good to have somebody to help you through those things. And that's just part of being human too. We're all going on this ride together, and it's really hard. I'm glad that I could help a few people. I want to say, like, I wish there could be somebody who could help me, but I don't really have anything that I need help with right now. I mean, other than like money, money, job, and maybe somebody to go do stuff with. But that's not too big of a thing. I mean, like, it seems like I'm at least taking the right steps to figure that out, because I mean, if I'm having people look at my resume and doing that kind of stuff, even though it's like in the beginnings, like, it's the first steps, it's not anything, like, I'm not really too deep into it, but at least I'm taking the right first steps, and like, because of that, I can't be like, well, why isn't it happening sooner, like, but yeah, no, it's just sad. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. Like, I guess I'm just sad because of those kind of moments in time, but it's not really sad. I guess I'm just recalling the times where like the human moments with people where it's not like, because right now it's like, I go on Tinder, I go on Facebook dating and stuff like that, and it's like, everyone's just, it's just about like either sex or trying to form a romantic relationship. It's like, I don't think people know how to just be like human to each other anymore. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Like those moments of, well, I'm going through a hard time. I just need somebody to like be there. I don't necessarily need anything from you, but it's just like care, like just care. And that's really hard. And it's so sad that that's really hard right now. Nobody cares anymore. And maybe this is kind of like fear right now too, because like I said, that lady, last time she came, she was really underprepared and she was just like trying to like, okay, like, when somebody comes and like they're not prepared and like, but they're like trying to wing it or something, or like, I don't know, it's like she was trying to gaslight me that like we never talked about the things we talked about, and that like we were just coming here to have a discussion. I'm like, please get the fuck out of my apartment. If you're not gonna help me, then don't waste my time. And I'm afraid if she does the same thing as last time, I'm gonna have to complain. And I guess that's the thing too, is why I'm crying too, is because like I don't want to have to be a hard ass. Like, why can't people just like do what they say? Why do people always gotta lie? Why do people have to be shits? And like, I'm prepared to be like pleasantly surprised. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love it if she totally surprised me and did everything she said she would do and more. Like that'd be great. But I don't know. At this point in time, I feel like people have disappointed me so much. I can't really. I don't know how to like rely on people anymore. But anyway, I'm just gonna like go off now because I need to emotionally recover and then start cleaning. So, and I still got like, I need to do my face care. Like, I bought all this stuff from Sephora, haven't even used it. Need to dye my hair. Like, like there's just so much I have to do other than cleaning. So I need to, gain composure and then go do the things. But anyway, take care. Be good. Bye bye.